Hi, it's Gabrielle, and in today's video, I'm going to teach you how to spot a deal breaker in your relationship and when to get out now. For the past 12 years, I've been a licensed professional counselor and relationship expert in private practice in Boulder, Colorado. And my practice is grounded in the science of what makes relationships work. I'm going to show you how to avoid wasting time on relationships that have no chance of getting off the ground, and how to zero in on the right candidates for you for a long-term, committed, intimate relationship. If you like the relationship tips and couples advice that you're learning here, please remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel right now. Just click on the subscribe button right here. If you're enjoying this video, please give it a like and share it, and please go to thepowercoupleformula.com for lots more information about how to build an amazing relationship, and powercoupleseducation.com to stay connected. What are legitimate reasons to leave your relationship versus things that you should try to work on? How do you know when to stay and when to go? We've all been there. You've fallen in love and you're starting to wonder, maybe this is somebody I could spend the rest of my life with. But maybe you're starting to think about the relationship and you have certain problems with it, and you're lying awake at night wondering, can you really make this work? Before we get into an in-depth conversation about deal breakers, let's just get one thing clear. If you're being physically or sexually abused, or you're the victim of domestic violence, or your life is being threatened in any way, it's time to end your relationship. But assuming abuse is off the table, there are still lots of deal breakers. Maybe there's something they said that made you think, really? That's the kind of life they want? First of all, what do we even mean by a deal breaker? Deal breakers are fundamental issues about your morals and your lifestyle choices that cut to the core of what is important to you. Things that you and your partner may have very different ideas about. This could include things like one of you wants kids and the other one doesn't. One of you wants to raise your children Christian and the other one Muslim. One of you wants an open relationship and to be able to sleep with other people, and the other one wants to be monogamous. Or one of you wants to live in Paris and the other one wants to live in Cleveland. That would be a deal breaker. Deal breakers can also include things like substance abuse, having extremely different sexual libidos, or differences in the way you handle money. There's some common mistakes that people make when it comes to deal breakers. The first one is they don't deal with the deal breaker before they get too far into the relationship. If you're dealing with these types of issues, be aware that you need to hash these things out and leave no stone unturned before you go on and deal with other types of issues you have in the relationship. There's no point in doing any kind of work on your communication skills or any other kinds of problems you might have if you're not even going to be together because you have these unresolvable deal breakers. Don't try to make plans for your future until you've gotten to the bottom of this. If you don't deal with your deal breakers, they will come back to bite you. It's only a matter of time. You know what I'm talking about. That thing that's been kind of on the back of your mind, like maybe they've told you that they really see themselves being polyamorous and that's the kind of lifestyle they want, is to love lots of people, and that's really important to them. But they just haven't explored it very much. And here you are, and you're absolutely sure that you want a monogamous relationship. Don't ignore that. The second mistake that people make when it comes to deal breakers is that they maintain 1 foot in and 1 foot out of the relationship because they don't really like the fact that their partner wants a certain kind of lifestyle or handles money or sex a certain way. There are certain things about the way your partner behaves or the way they think or what they want that are a true problem for you. But you just kind of put it off and don't deal with it until it gets to be too much, and then you threaten to leave. And maybe you do leave, only to come back again. You have 1 foot in and 1 foot out the door all the time. You know this relationship isn't going to work for you because there's a deal breaker, but you're just not willing to cut the cord. If this is you, it's time to figure out whether you're in or out and take action. It's time to draw a clear line in the sand and stick to it. I know this is hard because it's the threat of being alone, but understand that if you're given the choice between signing on for something that is fundamentally not who you are versus being alone, you're going to end up alone anyway because your deal breakers will end your relationship. So better to find out now. If you have a deal breaker, does that necessarily mean it's a reason to get out now? Not necessarily. A lot of times couples think that they have a deal breaker when really they just haven't sat down and talked about it to see if there's a solution that they can both live with. Necessity is the mother of invention. People don't get creative unless they have to. You may find that there actually is some kind of middle ground that the two of you can come to that you wouldn't have ever thought of if you hadn't taken the time to really hash it out and explore all of your options. It takes a certain amount of bravery and courage to sit down and say, this is what I need in order to be happy, and for your partner to do the same. But the amazing thing is that when people really stare that issue straight in the face, sometimes something just blossoms out of that nobody could have ever anticipated. And it works for both people. So let's get down to brass tacks. I want to save you a world of hurt by just getting some really important steps down. How do you avoid getting too far into a relationship that has deal breakers? The last thing you want to do is find yourself 2 kids in and having been off the job market for 20 years only to find that you're completely miserable because your partner is living a lifestyle that is not what you want. And the truth is, you knew this right from the start. The first thing is to be clear from the beginning about your values and what you're looking for in a partner and a relationship before you get involved. That's where it makes sense to sit down and make a list of what you feel about the kinds of issues that I'm talking about that tend to become deal breakers for people. Things around substance abuse, secrecy, prenuptial agreements, open relationships. All of these issues can come back to bite people when they haven't been clear with a potential partner right from the beginning about what their bottom line is. And that leads us to the second thing, which is to be upfront and open about your deal breakers. This isn't a time to pretend that you like the same things as a potential partner just because you find them super attractive and really magnetic. If you're just in it for the short term and just looking to have some fun and fool around and you're not really looking for a long-term partner, then these things don't really matter. But at some point, it's likely that you're going to want to develop a deep, rewarding, and trustworthy relationship with just one special person. And that's when you have to really start thinking about these things up front. Which leads us to our third issue. If you meet somebody who doesn't match your deal breaker criteria, then get up and walk away. Don't go down the rabbit hole with this person when you know right from the beginning that this is not going to be a good fit. People often make up fantasies in their mind, like, well, I knew he was really interested in polyamory, but I figured we'd just work that out somehow. Now they're married and they find out that their partner just can't be happy without a polyamorous relationship. You probably knew on one of your first dates that this wasn't the person for you, but you just kind of didn't pay attention to that. Don't make that mistake. An important part of self-development is knowing who you are and not being afraid to be open and upfront about that, and just let the cards fall where they may. The more willing you are to do that, the more likely you're going to attract people who also know who they are and what they want. And the more likely you're going to find a fit with somebody who shares the same values as you do. Maturity means being clear about who you are and what you want, and not being afraid to put that out there, even if it means that you lose certain kinds of friendships or relationships. If you have to break up with someone who you really liked because you could see that there was an unworkable deal breaker, that's going to be rough. You are going to go home and cry and feel pretty bad about it for a while. But a couple of months from then, you're going to be driving down the road thinking, thank God I didn't go through with that. Whew, that sure saved me at least a lifetime of pain. And in the long run, the boost you get to your self-esteem will be way greater than the pain you had to suffer. Now let's hear from you. What are your deal breakers? You can use this question as an opportunity to clarify this for yourself. So leave me your deal breakers below in the comments. I look forward to reading them, and I'll see you in the next video.